You think you know garlic. You chop it, you cook it, you maybe rub it on some bread. But Chinese home cooks have been doing things with garlic that most Americans have never even considered. And once you see these tricks, you're going to wonder how you ever lived without them. We are counting down all 33 of the most clever garlic hacks that actually work, from the mildly surprising to the ones that will genuinely stop you mid-scroll and make you say out loud, "Wait, that works?" Stick around because some of the best ones are toward the top of the list, and I promise you, number 1 is going to change how you think about garlic forever. Number 33. Boiling potatoes with garlic for better flavor and texture. Next time you boil potatoes, drop 4 or 5 unpeeled garlic cloves directly into the water alongside them. As the water heats up, the garlic releases its aromatic compounds into the liquid, and those flavors gently penetrate the potato skin as it cooks. Chinese home cooks have done this for years because potatoes cooked this way absorb a subtle, savory depth that plain water simply cannot give. When you drain and mash or season those potatoes afterward, you will notice a completely different flavor profile. The garlic mellows beautifully from the boiling process, losing its sharpness while delivering a warm, rounded taste throughout the dish. Number 32. Making a complete Chinese-style garlic sauce from scratch in 5 minutes. Mince 6 garlic cloves as finely as possible using the salt paste technique from tip number 3. In a small bowl, combine this paste with 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of rice vinegar, half a teaspoon of sesame oil, half a teaspoon of sugar, and a pinch of chili flakes. Stir everything together until the sugar dissolves completely. This sauce requires no cooking whatsoever, and it is ready in under 5 minutes. Pour it over blanched vegetables, use it as a dumpling dipping sauce, toss it with cold noodles, or drizzle it over grilled meat. This is a foundational sauce in Chinese home cooking, and it showcases everything powerful and versatile about garlic when treated with genuine respect and knowledge. Number 31. Garlic oil made directly from garlic skins. Take those same garlic skins you collected and place them in a small saucepan with half a cup of neutral cooking oil, like vegetable or grapeseed oil. Heat the oil over the lowest possible flame for about 15 minutes, letting the skins slowly infuse the oil without burning. Strain the skins out and store the golden oil in a small sealed jar in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks. This infused oil carries a surprisingly rich garlic aroma and works beautifully as a finishing oil drizzled over rice, noodles, or roasted vegetables. This is a technique common in Chinese cooking where every part of the ingredient carries value and nothing edible ever goes to waste. Number 30. Using a metal spoon to separate cloves cleanly. Place your whole garlic head on a cutting board and press the rounded back of a large metal spoon firmly down on the center of the head. Apply steady downward pressure rather than a sudden smack. The cloves will pop apart cleanly while the skin stays mostly intact on each individual piece. This gives you separated, undamaged cloves ready for whatever technique comes next without bruising the garlic or releasing its oils prematurely. This is one of those small preparation steps that makes every following step easier and cleaner. Number 29. The fork crush method for single cloves. Remove 1 clove from your garlic head, lay it flat on your cutting board, and press the back of a sturdy fork down across it with firm, even pressure. Rock the fork slightly as you press. The clove flattens, the skin cracks open and practically falls off on its own, and you are left with a roughly crushed piece of garlic ready to go into a pan. This method is perfect when you only need 1 or 2 cloves and do not want to drag out extra tools. Chinese people cooking everyday quick meals use variations of this fork and finger technique constantly because it is fast, effective, and requires 0 cleanup. Number 28. Freezing whole peeled garlic cloves for instant access. Peel a large batch of cloves using any method you prefer, spread them in a single layer on a parchment-lined baking sheet, and freeze them flat for 2 hours. Once frozen solid, transfer all the cloves into a freezer bag and keep them stored frozen. Individual cloves come out one at a time without sticking together, and frozen garlic is actually easier to grate or mince because the firm frozen texture allows finer cuts. Chinese cooks preparing for a week of cooking often process a full kilogram of garlic this way on a Sunday to save time every single night. Number 27. Roasted garlic is a spreadable kitchen delicacy. Slice the very top off an entire garlic head, just enough to expose the tips of all the cloves inside. Drizzle generously with olive oil, wrap the whole head tightly in aluminum foil, and roast it in a 400-degree Fahrenheit oven for 40 to 45 minutes. When you unwrap it, the cloves will have transformed into soft, caramelized golden paste that squeezes out of each compartment like butter. Spread it on bread, stir it into mashed potatoes, blend it into soups, or mix it into any sauce you want to elevate instantly. Roasted garlic is genuinely a delicacy, and Chinese cooking traditions around slow-cooked and fermented garlic preparations recognize this depth of flavor completely. Number 26. Storing garlic paste long-term in an ice cube tray. Blend a large batch of peeled garlic cloves with just a splash of neutral oil in a food processor until you get a smooth paste. Spoon this paste into the compartments of a standard ice cube tray, filling each section about 3/4 full. Freeze the tray overnight, then pop the cubes out and transfer them into a labeled Ziploc freezer bag. Each cube equals roughly 1 tablespoon of garlic paste, and they keep in the freezer for up to 3 months without losing significant flavor. Drop 1 frozen cube directly into a hot pan the next time a recipe calls for garlic, and it melts instantly into the oil. Chinese home cooks making large batch preparations absolutely rely on this kind of advanced preparation to save time on busy weeknights. Number 25. Quick chopping garlic efficiently with a knife. Lay your peeled clove flat and make several parallel slices lengthwise without cutting all the way through the root end, keeping the clove attached at the base. Then rotate the clove 90 degrees and make a second set of parallel cuts across the first set. Finally, slice across the entire clove from tip to base, and the pieces fall apart into a fine, uniform mince. This is the professional French knife technique, but it is equally used by skilled Chinese cooks to produce perfectly even garlic pieces that cook at the same rate in a wok or pan. Uneven pieces mean sunburn, while others stay raw, which ruins the dish. Number 24. Crushing garlic using plastic wrap for zero mess. Lay a single garlic clove in the center of a piece of plastic wrap and fold the wrap over it completely. Place this wrapped clove on your cutting board and press down firmly with the flat side of a wide knife or the bottom of a heavy glass. The clove crushes completely inside the wrap, the skin separates from the flesh, and you can open the wrap, peel the skin off the crushed garlic, and your cutting board and hands stay completely clean. No garlic residue, no sticky fingers, no odor transfer. This clever trick is particularly popular among people who cook garlic frequently and want to minimize the lingering smell on their hands and surfaces. Number 23. Peeling garlic with parchment paper in a jar together. Place several unpeeled garlic cloves inside a glass jar along with a crumpled sheet of parchment paper. Put the lid on tightly and shake the jar vigorously for about 20 to 25 seconds. The parchment paper creates a rough, abrasive friction surface inside the jar that knocks the papery skins off the cloves as they tumble around. Open the jar, separate the cloves from the loose skins, and you have perfectly peeled garlic in under half a minute. The combination of the rigid jar walls and the abrasive texture of the parchment dramatically improves on shaking cloves in an empty jar alone. Number 22. The jar shake method for peeling garlic in bulk. This is the classic version that Chinese people have used long before it became a viral internet moment. Separate all the cloves from a full head of garlic and drop them into a large, sturdy glass jar or metal container with a tight-fitting lid. Put the lid on and shake the jar as hard and as fast as you can for a full 20 seconds. The cloves bang against each other and against the walls of the jar, and the papery skins literally shake themselves loose. Open the jar over a bowl, and the loose skins fall away from the cloves with just a light blow of air. Works best with dry cured garlic rather than very fresh bulbs. Number 21. Microwave peeling for extremely fast results. Place up to a full head of separated but unpeeled garlic cloves on a microwave-safe plate and heat them on high for exactly 15 seconds. The brief burst of heat creates steam inside each clove between the flesh and the papery skin. Remove the plate carefully, hold each warm clove at one end, and the garlic will squeeze right out of its skin like toothpaste from a tube. The skin stays completely intact and empty on your fingers. This method works because moisture trapped between the skin layers rapidly converts to steam under microwave heat, breaking the bond between flesh and paper. Do not exceed 15 seconds or the garlic begins to cook. Number 20. Peeling garlic, the most reliable way for beginners. If you are new to cooking or simply want a method that never fails, try this. Place an individual clove on your cutting board and lay the flat side of your largest kitchen knife across it. Use your non-dominant hand to apply a single, sharp downward press on the flat of the blade. You will hear and feel a soft crunch. The skin will crack and loosen immediately. Now you can simply pinch the skin at one end and it slides off in one smooth motion. This method works because the sudden pressure ruptures the papery outer layer without damaging the clove inside. Chinese cooking instructors teaching beginners always start with this exact technique before introducing any other method. Number 19. Cutting garlic lengthwise before peeling for easy skin removal. Take an unpeeled garlic clove and use a sharp paring knife to make a shallow cut along the natural length of the clove, following the curve from top to bottom. This single incision opens the tight seal of the skin along its longest axis, and once that seal is broken, the skin peels away in two clean halves with almost no effort. You are essentially creating a zipper along the outer layer. This is especially effective with slightly older garlic, where the skin has dried and tightened around the clove, making it harder to slip off with standard methods. Number 18. Peeling large quantities of garlic underwater. Fill a medium bowl with cold water and submerge your separated, unpeeled garlic cloves completely. Let them soak for 2 to 3 minutes. The water softens and loosens the papery skins by hydrating them, causing them to swell slightly away from the moist flesh underneath. Use your fingers to rub and squeeze the cloves underwater and the skins float away into the water. Skim the skins off the surface, drain the bowl, and you are left with clean, peeled cloves. This method is a staple in Chinese restaurant prep kitchens, where large volumes of garlic need to be processed quickly before service. Number 17. Getting maximum yield from a garlic press with parchment paper. Cut a small square of parchment paper and lay it over the open basket of your garlic press before placing the unpeeled clove on top. Close the press and squeeze. The clove presses through the parchment as if it were not there, and the garlic flesh comes out through the holes normally. But when you open the press, the skin is contained within the folded parchment, rather than stuck to the basket walls, making cleanup as simple as pulling out the parchment and discarding it. You also get more garlic from each press because nothing gets trapped in the corners of the basket. This is a clever efficiency trick that reduces waste and eliminates the most annoying part of using a garlic press. Number 16. Grating garlic through a fine mesh sieve. Place a peeled garlic clove on top of a fine mesh strainer or sieve held over a bowl. Use the back of a spoon to press and rub the clove against the mesh in a circular motion. The garlic pulp pushes through the holes, leaving the fibrous core behind, and what falls into your bowl is an extremely smooth, almost liquid garlic paste that incorporates into sauces, dressings, and marinades with zero visible chunks. This technique is especially useful when making emulsified sauces or silky stir-fry bases where texture consistency is critical. It produces a more refined result than any grater you own. Number 15. Using a rocking knife motion to mince garlic ultra-fine. After roughly chopping your garlic, gather all the pieces into a small pile at the center of your cutting board. Place your non-dominant hand flat on the spine of the knife near the tip to anchor it. Then rock the blade up and down repeatedly while slowly pivoting it in a fan motion across the pile. Continuously gather the garlic back to the center between rocking sessions. After 2 to 3 minutes of this motion, you will have garlic so finely minced it is almost a paste. This ultra-fine texture releases the maximum amount of allicin, which is the compound responsible for garlic's powerful health and flavor properties. Number 14. Making garlic vinegar as a flavor-boosting condiment. Crush 8 to 10 peeled garlic cloves with the flat of your knife and drop them into a clean glass jar. Pour 1 cup of rice vinegar, which is widely used in Chinese cooking, over the garlic until it is fully submerged. Seal the jar and let it sit at room temperature for 5 to 7 days. The garlic mellows and the vinegar takes on a complex garlicky tang that is incredible in salad dressings, noodle sauces, and cold appetizers. Chinese people have been making this style of garlic vinegar condiment for centuries, and it keeps for months in the refrigerator. Number 13. Salt-packed garlic storage to prevent mold and extend life. Take a small, clean jar with a lid and create alternating layers of coarse sea salt and unpeeled garlic cloves, starting and ending with salt so the cloves are completely surrounded. Seal the jar and store it in a cool, dark pantry spot. The salt absorbs excess moisture from the environment around the garlic, which is the primary cause of mold and premature sprouting. Garlic stored this way can stay fresh and usable for 2 to 3 months without refrigeration. When you need a clove, simply dig one out, brush off the salt, and proceed normally. The salt itself becomes mildly garlic flavored over time and can be used as a finishing seasoning. Number 12. Creating garlic-infused rice by cooking with whole cloves. When you add water to your rice pot or rice cooker, drop in 3 or 4 whole peeled garlic cloves along with the grains. Cook everything together as you normally would. The garlic cloves soften completely during cooking, becoming creamy and mild, and their flavor distributes evenly through every grain of rice. You can either eat the soft cloves alongside the rice or mash them right in for a uniformly flavored bowl. Chinese people cooking plain rice often add aromatics this way to elevate what might otherwise be a simple, neutral component of a meal. Number 11. Using a microplane to grate garlic directly into dishes. A microplane grater, the kind with very fine, sharp teeth, turns a peeled garlic clove into a smooth, fiber-free paste in seconds. Hold the clove at one end and run it across the microplane over your pan or bowl. Unlike a box grater, a microplane obliterates cell walls so completely that the resulting garlic paste releases its flavor more intensely and distributes more evenly into whatever you are cooking. This is the preferred method when making garlic butter, pasta sauces, or any preparation where you want garlic fully dissolved into the dish rather than visible as pieces. Number 10. Removing garlic smell from hands using a metal spoon. After handling garlic, rub your hands thoroughly under cold running water while pressing them firmly against the bowl of a stainless steel spoon, rubbing as if the spoon were a bar of soap. Do this for about 30 seconds. The sulfur compounds that cause that persistent garlic odor are electrochemically attracted to stainless steel, and they transfer from your skin to the metal surface under water. When you rinse your hands and dry them, the smell is gone. This is not a myth. It works on the same principle as stainless steel soap bars sold commercially for exactly this purpose. Number 9. Black garlic made at home using a rice cooker. Place a full head of unpeeled garlic inside your rice cooker, close the lid, and set it to the warm setting. Only, not cook. Leave it running continuously on warm for 10 to 14 days without opening the lid. The low sustained heat gradually transforms the garlic through a slow enzymatic browning process, turning the cloves completely black and developing a sweet, complex molasses-like flavor with zero sharpness. Black garlic has become incredibly popular in Chinese and Korean cuisine and as a gourmet ingredient globally. You can make your own at home for a fraction of the retail price using this technique. Number 8. Blooming garlic in cold oil before heating. Instead of adding garlic to an already hot pan, place your minced or sliced garlic in a cold pan first, then pour cold oil over it, then turn on the heat. As the oil slowly heats from cold, the garlic temperature rises gradually, and its flavor compounds infuse deeply into the oil over a longer period without risk of burning. This cold start method produces a more mellow, rounded garlic flavor compared to the sharp, intense flavor you get from dropping garlic into screaming hot oil. Chinese chefs making slow-cooked sauces and braised dishes frequently use this gradual approach specifically to develop a softer, aromatic base. Number 7. Garlic powder from dehydrated homemade slices. Peel and slice a large batch of garlic cloves as thinly as possible using a sharp knife or mandolin. Spread the slices on a parchment-lined baking sheet in a single layer and bake at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for 90 minutes to 2 hours until completely dried and brittle with no moisture remaining. Let them cool completely, then grind in a spice grinder or high-powered blender until you achieve a fine powder. Homemade garlic powder tastes significantly more vibrant and complex than anything from a store-bought jar because nothing has been added, nothing is degraded, and it is completely fresh. Store in an airtight glass jar away from heat and light. Number 6. Garlic honey infusion for savory. Sweet applications. Peel 1 full head of garlic and place all the cloves in a clean glass jar. Pour raw honey over the cloves until they are fully submerged and there are no air pockets. Seal the jar loosely and leave it at room temperature for 7 days, turning the jar upside down daily to redistribute the honey. Over this week, the honey ferments very gently. The garlic softens and loses its bite, and both ingredients develop a completely new combined flavor. The resulting garlic honey is extraordinary, drizzled over fried chicken, mixed into sauces, or spread on bread. Chinese culinary traditions around fermented garlic inspired this technique. Number 5. Using a rolling pin to peel an entire head at once. Lay a full head of garlic on your cutting board and use the heel of your hand or the flat bottom of a rolling pin to press down hard and roll forward in one firm motion. The cloves will separate from the head and many skins will crack open simultaneously. Gather the cloves, give them a brief shake in a bowl or container, and most skins will have separated enough to pull away cleanly with a pinch. This rolling method takes under 10 seconds and works brilliantly when you need a large number of cloves quickly without any equipment. Number 4. Storing chopped garlic under olive oil in the fridge. Finely chop a large batch of garlic and pack it tightly into a clean glass jar. Pour enough olive oil over the top to completely submerge all the garlic with at least a 1/4 inch of oil above the surface. Seal and refrigerate immediately. Keep stored this way for up to 1 week in the refrigerator. Important note: always keep this refrigerated and use it within a week to maintain safety. The oil seals out oxygen, slowing the oxidation that turns garlic bitter and keeps every bite fresh and ready to use. Chinese cooks preparing for busy weekly cooking schedules often make this at the start of each week as a fundamental prep step. Number 3. Making garlic paste with a pinch of salt on a cutting board. Place your minced garlic on the cutting board and sprinkle a generous pinch of coarse salt over it. Using the flat side of your knife blade, press and drag the salted garlic across the board repeatedly at a low angle, smearing it forward and scraping it back. The coarse salt crystals act as a mild abrasive, breaking down the cell walls of the garlic more completely than a knife can cut alone. Within 2 to 3 minutes, your minced garlic transforms into a perfectly smooth, silky paste that melts seamlessly into any recipe. This technique is used constantly in Chinese restaurant kitchens for building clean, powerful flavor bases. Number 2. Toasting garlic slices for a crunchy topping. Slice peeled garlic cloves as thinly and evenly as possible. Heat 2 tablespoons of oil in a small pan over medium-low heat and add the slices in a single layer. Do not stir for the first 90 seconds. Let them sit undisturbed until the edges begin to turn golden. Then gently stir and cook until uniformly light golden brown. Remove immediately to a paper towel because they will continue darkening from residual heat. These crispy garlic chips are a cornerstone topping in Chinese cooking, scattered over noodles, soups, congee, and stir-fried vegetables to add texture and a deep, toasted, nutty garlic flavor that raw or cooked soft garlic simply cannot deliver. And finally, number 1. The ultimate Chinese garlic trick: fermenting garlic in vinegar to make laba garlic. This is one of the most beloved preserved food traditions in all of Chinese cooking. In the weeks around the winter holiday season, Chinese households submerge whole peeled garlic cloves in rice vinegar or black vinegar in sealed glass jars. They store these jars in a cold location for 2 to 3 weeks. What happens is a genuine chemical and biological transformation. The acidity of the vinegar breaks down certain compounds in the garlic cells and causes the allicin to react with other molecules, turning the cloves a vivid, brilliant emerald green color. The flavor becomes tangy, mellow, slightly sweet, and completely addictive. These bright green garlic cloves are eaten alongside traditional Chinese dumplings during the new year. The technique is simple. The result is visually stunning, and the flavor is unlike anything else in the cooking world. This is the single most impressive and useful garlic trick you can learn, and now you know exactly how to make it at home. If you tried any of these techniques or plan to try one this week, let me know in the comments below which one surprised you the most. And if you want more food science and kitchen hacks like this, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, because there is so much more coming your way very soon.